What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you on a cryptocurrency stream. And guys, I was actually just outside with my family and I noticed this pattern forming out on the charts, guys. This is just going to be a really fast trade alert video, guys. Definitely get ready to make your trades, guys. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. And guys, let's dive right into the price action. And if you haven't signed up using my links, you can save up to over $7,000 in bonuses just with using all of my links below. And if you sign up to Bybit right now, you can save over $2,600 in bonuses just by using my link right here. And don't forget about all of my giveaways, and be sure to check out the student program. Okay guys, so we obviously had a few things playing out right now. Just let me show you them really quick. Okay, so we could have a inverse head and shoulders right here, okay, measured right through there, and if so, we are actually getting that breakout already. But I wanted to show you guys a pattern that is playing out, which I am actually looking to play right now as well. Okay, so we have a symmetrical triangle here, okay, and these could break out either way. Okay, so definitely be playing your indications as well as patterns within patterns to make this trade. But guys, let me just pull up a couple examples here for you so you can get a good understanding which way I'm leaning. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a trifecta to the downside right here. And guys, just like I said in a couple of videos ago, what happens when we have a trifecta to the downside? Okay, it means take your trade. Okay, so for instance, I actually am already open on this trade right now in a short, okay, but in simplicity, guys, I do have my stop loss set at the top of the retracement as if it was going to the downside, obviously. So for instance, my stop loss is basically right up here, and if we get a rebound right here, I will take very tiny profits and then walk out of that trade. I'm going to be watching this, okay? So, and then if we break through the support right here, I'm just going to keep my trade open and ride it. And then let me give you guys the target here. And it's all the way down, oh boy, at around 32,000 if we break out to the downside here, guys. But if we get some volume into the market, okay, some positive bullish volume, we can start to push back up and maybe retest the top of the resistance, in which case the target, assuming we break out to the upside, will be up at around $44,000. Now guys, let's just be transparent here. There's a lot of resistance right around the $42,000 mark. Basically, I believe we need to break that in order to get back into some good standing. And in simplicity, guys, if we break down below something like $30,000 again, like for instance, we have another strong movement to the downside like we just had in the last week, guys, then just straight up the bear market is here. It is here, just like that. And like I said, that would be very surprising. And I have some analysis to go over with you guys that leads me to believe that this is not over. So just let me pull that up for you guys real quick. Okay, so I have a couple different measurements here for you guys, so let's just talk about them. So for instance, we're all the way back in 2011 here, the first bull cycle ever, and it lasted around 268 days, okay? Then we get to the halving, okay? The next bull cycle begins. 344 days, pumping up around 12,000%, up to around $1,177. The next bear cycle begins. All the phases. Okay, we've been over all this stuff. Guys, I will go over cycles in depth again in another video, but that is not what I'm going over today. Okay, now we have the bull cycle that kind of got everyone's attention, that was kind of living under the rock for the last 8 years. The $20,000 pump. Okay, which lasted 527 days. Okay, that's how long that cycle ran there, the bull cycle. The longest bull cycle in history. Okay, for many reasons. And actually, before I get into the current status, let's just go over all the pumps. So for instance, the first major pump out of the halving from the bottom was about 141% in over 155 days. And then let's measure out the dumps as well here. Let's measure out the dumps. Okay. It's around 37% over 9 days. Then another pump of 74%, okay, over 57 days. another dump of 32%. Okay. Put this over a little further here. Then a rise of 233% over 79 days. Okay. Then a dump of 40% over 34 days. And you guys kind of get the picture here. I'm going to do each of these measurements. 171 over 48 days. And then another dump. Oh, basically another 40%. Okay. Another rise of 163%. And this also comes to my point as well. Also in around another 30% dump. But then this movement right here. Look at this massive move. Almost matching this hill way back here. Okay. Just a massive move up. Very parabolic. Sharp. Straight up, almost straight down. Okay. I believe that will be the peak of this bull cycle. Okay. Why? Because all of the bull cycles peaked like that so far. All of them. Every single one. Okay. This one coming up will be no different. And why? Because of all the institution, the greed, the everything. I mean, gosh, there's so many things lining up for it. But in reality, when institutions, don't get the price they want, they drive FUD and fear into the market to drive the price down, guys. And that's exactly what happened. Elon Musk's tweet smashed the market. And then right after that, the China FUD hit. And guys, the market dumped again. Okay? Institutions were just playing off of the weakness of weak hands and paper hands, as they like to say. And man, they just scooped up all that cheap coin, guys. And I put a tweet out on Twitter, saying, here comes institutions to scoop up all your guys' cheap coin. And they did just that. But guys, let's be real here. If they have another opportunity to do so, they will do that. And they could turn this into a little mini bear market in this cycle very quickly. And we'll go over why about that in a minute. But let me just continue on here. You guys get the idea. A massive parabolic move. Let's get to the current cycle. Okay. So I've got it all measured out for you guys here as well. And then I have the time factor as well up here. So, for instance, where we're at time-wise right now is, let's just do it right through here. So right now we're at 377 days, okay, right at the current price time. Okay, so it's interesting to say that the first bull cycle was only 200, then the second one was 3, the third was 500. It would be kind of weird to see this one end so soon. Okay, as you guys can clearly see, the cycles were longer as more people got involved. The scarcity of the main coins became a reality, and there's less of them. And I think as more and more people get involved, it doesn't make sense that the bull cycle would be over now. It just doesn't. So in reality, yes, there's a lot of people saying, hey, I wish I took a little more profits up here. Even myself, for instance, I did take some altcoin profits, very little, very, very little. And I didn't take any of my main coins. And that's because I believe in this cycle being much bigger and much more higher times, to say the least. But it just wouldn't make sense. So, for instance, let's just talk about the pumps here for a second. So 44% pump, 326% pump. To zoom way in to get this one. Okay. We have 102% pump on this one. 43, it's slowing down. 28, 26, folding over, almost folding over. Okay. And guys, just like I said when we broke it right here on the 55 daily, I switched into short-term bearish, guys, and we have been struggling to hold it ever since, and that's where the 100 and then 200 come into play. But just stay with me here. So again, that's the current date that we're at right now at around 300 and some days, guys. It's, oh man, I can't imagine it'd be over now. So here's what I think. We have an elongated bull cycle, which lasts much longer. For instance, something like 752 days, okay, a much longer cycle, which could yield a drastic recovery. For instance, we've had some major dumps like we just went over in the previous cycle. For instance, this is our biggest dump thus far. But again, you got to imagine, guys, the price is much higher. There's a lot more involvement. These volatile moves can be a lot bigger, okay? So for instance, a recovery out of this is, not out of the realm of possibility. It's definitely something that's plausible, and we have to factor that in as well. But in reality, guys, we need some good volume to come back into the market aside from institution as well, But what I believe will happen will happen. I'm almost guaranteeing it, guys. I really think this will happen. In about 2 months, the market will strongly recover, probably right around my birthday, which will be really nice, right around August. And man, it's just kind of your last opportunity to get coin at these prices before a massive blast off. Okay, and let me show you why I think that. Okay, so aside from the time measurement, which we just went over today, okay, and all of the pumps and dumps, we didn't go over the dumps on this cycle, but let's go over them really quickly, actually, just real fast. Okay. So from this top to this bottom, 22% over 22 days, look at that. From this top to this bottom, 14 days, 31%. I mean, we've been really having some gifts this year thus far, guys. I mean, some very tiny retracements compared to history, especially with all the hype. I mean, we were long overdue for this kind of retracement. And yes, it's scary when it breaks all the indications, especially all the EMAs up to the 200, even the 300. I mean, guys, geez, wow. But in reality, guys, that's why I keep saying I'm not worried, I'm not worried, I'm not worried. And trust me, I have a big account fluctuating around, and I'm still not worried. Yes, it is stressful to see your money fluctuate like this, drop 40% in your hodl position. That sucks. Nobody likes that. Nobody does. Okay, but the reality is I have a strong belief in what's to come. And that's what keeps me in a good place, I guess, when the money is really fluctuating. Okay, so anyway, 18% down right there. And then as we started to fold over, remember, reverse pressure actually did kick in and cross over right there. And we've been over reverse pressure. I'll actually go over it next video. Basically, we just had a strong folding over of the reverse pressure. And here we are today, waiting to break out of this now reverse trend hill. Okay. But one last measurement. Okay, from this top to this bottom, 27% again. But guys, this drop, who knows how, exactly how long this could be. We are already hitting some staggering numbers. I measured that top a little off there. I think it's actually over 50% for sure. Okay. Just about 50% here. So we need a recovery. We definitely do need a recovery out of this, guys. But I anticipate it. I'm waiting for it. I'm actually surprised we got this big of a dump. And like I said, I was expecting the dump to be, in the 30s. And guys, just to be honest, that just shows how strong the greed of institutions are. They will FUD that price down to the floor to get as much of it as it can. They will not buy Bitcoin at 60, 50, 40. Apparently they won't even buy it at $30,000, guys. Right? They crash that price straight away. There's not a reality that we don't live in a time of mass manipulation. Okay, it's interesting when you look at the bigger picture of things, but this whole institution of even just crypto as a whole has barely been around more than 12 years. In the life cycle of something starting, that in itself is an infancy stage. Okay, guys, I expect crypto to evolve into the future of what we consider money today. And it's interesting how every single generation has had these same experiences but extrapolated over new instances, for instance. Okay, so like in the beginning, coin was everything, and gold and all the hard materials prior to that, obviously, but let's just talk about relevancy for our time. And then the dollar came about. And everyone was extremely skeptical about the dollar. This is before my time even. This is just based off of history and what I've learned. And everyone was very skeptical. I mean, people literally shot each other in the streets for something that they thought was very valuable. They were talking old Western times here, guys, back in the day. Things were just the Wild West, as they would say, And I think you know, evolution and time, 100 years goes by, new forms of money become available. The credit card, for instance, is born. Okay, and everyone, again, super skeptical. Think, how is that safe? People are gonna steal from me. The fear. It's incredible how when a new currency comes about, there's so much fear that everyone that's in the old fashioned just kind of pushes you away from. Even my old financial advisors when I had them. And I think that cryptocurrency is no different. You know, everyone that doesn't understand it is very fearful of it, and in the end, it'll be something that's just the way we do things. It's everything. It's the future. Before you know it, coins in crypto will be the currency and transferable from your device, whatever that will be evolving as well, guys. And we've all seen the evolution of even just the iPhone, even from the beginning to now. Guys, evolution is a very cool thing in this process, and it's something you really have to take into account when you're talking about cycles, when you're talking about time. Something I teach about in my course is just how relevant time is to trading and just everything. It's really important. So when I look at something like this, we almost had finally to my point, guys. I know I went off on a long tangent there, guys, but I kind of wanted this to be a little bit of a longer video. I wanted to be really informative here. Let's go back to the second cycle, okay? Right here. And let me pull up an indication for you right here. Okay, guys, so again, you know, we're back in 2012, a flashback in time here, okay? So in simplicity, we had two red dots. Remember, guys, we've learned about the pi cycle top bull run sell indicator. Guys, that's something I just recently been teaching my students. Once they get to a certain point, there's definitely a course laid out for you guys for learned material so you can progress. This is just one of the indications you would learn about in the course. Just going to go over it quickly right here. So guys, in simplicity here, when we get these sell signals, it means, you know, a top is in. And what's really interesting, even in this last cycle, we had one of these red dots form. Okay, so we kind of knew this top was kind of forming, guys. But like I said, you know, no one anticipated a $29,000 drop, guys. That is incredible and massive, and broke all forms of resistance and supports, or not resistance, supports, guys. Broke all forms of supports. And you know, let's be real here. There's not an influencer or professional alive that anticipated that move that drastic. Okay, so but now that it's happened, we can factor in what potentially could be coming forward. Okay, so for instance, we have a drop of 86% in this bull cycle, and another red dot right there. This is the first bull cycle that actually got two red dots. Okay, that is the relevancy of my point here. So for instance, I think we're in the same kind of situation, just an elongated cycle for its time period. Yes, this one is only 344 days. Okay, but that's matching the same time length right now, and this is our first sell signal. For instance, we actually move ahead, okay, now to the current cycle. For instance, one dot on the last one. Oops, sorry about that. And one dot on this one. Also notice the crossing right at it as well. Possible folding over as we move forward, but the price has already plummeted. Either way, this cycle has only gotten its first dot. If this is an elongated cycle, okay, we will have a dump. We will have a recovery, easily surpassing much higher times. But the reality is it could last a much longer time. We could still go down. We could go, there could be all kinds of projections, guys. Okay, there could be all kinds of things to happen. But this is probably what that would look like, and it would look very sharp and then very sharp coming down. Okay, we will get that big dump someday, but we could be getting a little mini bear market in this cycle prior to the actual pump up, guys. So to my point, I think this is your last opportunity to get some cheap coin, and yes, we could go a little bit lower. And guys, if that is the case, obviously, you know, play in your EMAs and your indications to see that coming there. And like I've already said, you know, we do have a lot of indications to the downside right now. It's something you definitely have to watch. Okay, guys. And guys, I just wanted to quickly talk about Electroneum here. just wanted to show you guys what I'm seeing. Okay, so definitely some pretty dirty patterns right here. And man, nothing too clear, for instance, okay? Nothing too clear. This could end up changing actually, and we definitely had an inverse head and shoulders right here, okay? With a really weird pump out, which technically would make it irrelevant. Remember what I said about the volatility of crypto, guys. You're going to get these weird pump and dumps. It happens, especially with altcoins. So in simplicity, guys, we definitely have another little pattern forming out right here, okay? We had one which led up to this little dump, okay? And then we're kind of waiting for this one to form out right here. All right. Again, just nothing too clear. We're kind of reaching here. But we could get a breakout of these little patterns here. But the volume is just all over the place right now. This is definitely, there's a lot of panic selling going on across the market. I mean, look at the market, guys. It's blood. It's blood red over here. It's blood red. So, you know, definitely every coin is kind of going through the same process as Bitcoin right now. And guys, that's why I'm kind of steering to it. But I just wanted to show you guys, I know Electroneum is a very popular coin. And guys, like I said, I will be holding the remainder of my Electroneum strong. I took very little profit. I am going to be holding strong for higher times as this bull cycle recovers. And guys, that's all the time I have for today. These are pretty crazy times in crypto right now with a massive dump like this after 64,000. There's definitely a lot of worried people, but I hope I put you guys' mind to ease with this analysis, guys. I'm definitely resting pretty easy here and enjoying the shorting opportunities. It's definitely pretty awesome. While the rest of the market's money goes down a lot, and you know, mine did not. So, you know, that's awesome. You know, we all took a little bit of a hit here, but it's interesting when you're shorting the way down, you can actually keep your funds almost right where they were, and that's just a really cool feeling in trading. So, guys, in reality, if you're not making the gains you deserve, reach out to me today at bitcoindestar@gmail.com. My buddy Mitch will be happy to send your onboarding email and get you involved in the student program. And just for transparency, guys, I can only do or take 25 students a month. So, for instance, this month is basically just about to fill up pretty soon. If there's any last minute people that want to get involved, I know you could still get in, but you're going to be towards, you know, the end of the month at this point. But we are booking into next month already, guys. So I want you to really understand I can only take so many here, and someday my book will fill up completely with my learned professionals group that I've been, you know, teaching how to trade. And guys, you know, it's hard to say what's going to happen, you know, if Zion's doors will stay open forever for people to be able to work on the student program. But as, you know, the program evolves and, you know, I evolve in this whole process, and just for transparency, guys, I have, oh boy, I have 4 other businesses actually. So I have a lot going on. I'm even a pilot actually. So some interesting times and just a lot going on. But you know, I'll always be YouTubing. I'll always be teaching if possible. But the reality is I can only take so many people, guys. So I cannot stress enough. If you're just not getting the money from your supposed professional, or you have your money with someone else, it's a much better feeling having your money and having control. Yes, there's an obvious pressure situation there, but in reality, if you can make the trades and make better percentages than them, boy, is that just the best feeling. And guys, among the group, there's, geez, we're in the high 90s of success rate here. I mean, it's incredible. I think I've only had 2 people kind of bow out of the program. And you know, it's a shame because they just didn't go through, they didn't do enough. You know, they kind of bowed out, they made excuses, and it's sad to see that because the reality is I make it very simple for you guys to absorb, and that's the beauty of one-on-one attention. It's not like a group setting or a class. It's one-on-one. It almost guarantees your absorption rate. So it makes it very simple to expedite the process of time, which is extremely relevant. For instance, it took me, you know, 10, 15 years to accumulate this knowledge. The reality is I'm training you guys to potentially be better than me with how fast you're learning. You're learning faster than I did. Someday you guys could surpass me, and that's pretty awesome. That's the eventual goal, is you guys to become totally self-sufficient. So guys, if that's something that interests you, inbox me today at bitcoindestar@gmail.com. And guys, just remember, if you don't come from a rich family must come from you. I am Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.
Audio Jungle.